Today we are decoding a truly fascinating business case study. Welcome to This Explainer. We're looking at a startup that completely flipped the traditional hospitality industry on its head. They built an incredibly lucrative model out of something we all value but rarely quantify: time. This isn't just your standard cafe analysis. We're breaking down how one entrepreneur spotted a massive gap in the market and built an absolute powerhouse brand. Just look at this number: 2 crore rupees. That's the massive annual revenue this relatively young startup is currently raking in. Now, usually when you see a food and beverage business hit this kind of milestone, it means they're selling a crazy volume of overpriced lattes, gourmet meals, and juggling massive overhead costs for specialized kitchen staff. But the business we're looking at today, well, they didn't hit this 2 crore mark by selling food at all.
You read that right. A cafe where you literally do not pay for food. Imagine walking into a gorgeous, fully equipped cafe, finding the perfect cozy spot, and never once feeling that side eye from a waiter pressuring you to buy a sandwich just to justify keeping your seat. It sounds completely counterintuitive, doesn't it? I mean, how on earth does a cafe survive, let alone generate 2 crore rupees a year, if it isn't charging you for what's on the menu? Well, that is exactly what we're going to unpack. Here's our roadmap for today. First, decoding paper hour. 2. A serial entrepreneur's resilience. 3. Launching during a lockdown. 4. The revenue generation engine. And finally 5. The 1,000 crore vision.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, Decoding Paper Hour. The startup we're talking about is called Maji, and it operates as a time cafe.
At Maji, the meter starts ticking the second you settle in, with a base starting price of 210 rupees per hour. You're strictly renting the environment. And honestly, this is brilliant because it solves a huge friction point. Think about traditional cafes, right? Freelancers, students, remote workers, we go there to sit in peace and work, but you always get that lingering guilt of taking up table space. It leads to those forced, reluctant purchases. Maji just entirely removes that guilt. You pay for the time, and the space is completely yours. And for that 210 rupees, you aren't just getting a plastic chair. That fee includes high-speed Wi-Fi, unlimited complimentary drinks, and access to a DIY snack bar. The value proposition here is just incredibly strong. Instead of paying, say, 300 rupees for a single lukewarm coffee just to use a cafe's internet for an hour, you pay a lower flat rate and get unlimited basics. It perfectly bridges the gap between a stiff corporate co-working space and a super noisy transactional traditional cafe.
And Maji takes this a step further with a BYOF, bring your own food policy. Yep, you have complete freedom to bring your own lunch from home or even order a food delivery directly to your table. By not running a commercial kitchen, Maji completely slashes its operational overhead. No expensive chefs, no food waste, no complex supply chains. They provide the ambiance, you provide your own meal. It's a wildly customer-centric approach that drastically protects those profit margins.
Moving on to Section 2, a serial entrepreneur's resilience. Because a unique idea is nothing without the execution. To really understand how Maji works, we have to look at the architect behind it, Vandita Purohit. Vandita holds an engineering degree in electronics and telecommunication, and she didn't just stumble into this success overnight. She started her entrepreneurial journey at just 22 years old, founding an IT consulting firm called Mintry back in 2009. By 2015, she transitioned into the workspace industry, co-founding a co-working space in Pune called The Daftar. And then, in 2020, she laid the foundation for Maji. She's a seasoned pro who deeply understands the psychology of how people actually use workspaces. But here's the crucial point. Her path to this 2 crore revenue was paved with some brutal, heavy lessons. Along her journey, which also included a travel startup called Trowwork and a furniture design studio called Kala Pantry, she faced it all. Severe partner differences, abrupt project closures, massive financial losses. She even faced the absolute nightmare of vacating her Pune office and having to lay off staff. But instead of throwing in the towel, she absorbed every single one of those painful lessons and channeled them directly into building the foundation for Maji. And boy, was she gonna need every ounce of that resilience for Section 3, launching during a lockdown. Because her greatest challenge wasn't just proving the business model, it was surviving a literal global crisis. Let's look at this stark contrast. On March 14, 2020, Vandita proudly took possession of a massive 6,000 square foot bungalow in Pune to build her dream time cafe. Imagine the excitement! But then, literally days later, the entire nation went into a strict, unprecedented lockdown. Construction halted completely. The timing just couldn't have been worse. Before it even opened its doors, the business was facing an existential threat.
But with the support of her landlord and investors, she didn't panic. She adapted. She executed an absolute masterclass in survival. She continued the construction work in slow, careful phases during the lockdown. To save money and keep the vision alive, she personally executed the interior design herself. Against all odds, the cafe was built by September 2020, and as restrictions finally eased, Maji officially launched in December, relying heavily on word of mouth and social media to safely get people through the doors.
Which brings us to Section 4, the revenue generation engine. Now what's really interesting about this is how exactly a business born in a lockdown that doesn't even sell food generates 2 crore rupees a year. Let's break down the mechanics.
The real secret to that 2 crore figure is the sheer diversification of income streams, paired with zero kitchen overhead. Maji is not just a room with chairs. They monetize literally every single square foot. Across its 3 current centers in Pune and Nagpur, it functions as a highly versatile community hub. So while standard co-working zones generate those hourly fees, they're also renting out high-margin podcast and photography studios, event spaces, library access, and even a makerspace and an art store. They aren't selling coffee, they're selling multi-purpose real estate by the hour. This guarantees multiple overlapping streams of high-margin income.
To truly put that scale into perspective, consider this. Maji hosts between 400 to 500 events annually. That is more than 1 event every single day of the year. From workshops to meetups, these events bring in bulk bookings, intense community engagement, and massive footfall. Managing this level of activity requires serious operational efficiency, and this relentless, high utilization rate of their physical space, managed by a 32-person team, is the ultimate math behind their 2 crore annual earnings.
All right, wrapping up with Section 5, the 1,000 crore vision. With a highly profitable, proven model functioning seamlessly in Pune and Nagpur, where do we go from here?
Well, Vandita isn't stopping at 2 crore. She is pioneering a concept she calls third space hospitality, a space that isn't your home and isn't your formal office, but a crucial third environment for socializing, creating, and working. Her targeted expansion plan involves bringing this brand to India's biggest, most bustling hubs, Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, and Hyderabad. These are cities absolutely packed with creators, freelancers, and professionals who are desperate for an affordable, flexible space that doesn't force them to buy expensive food.
Ultimately, Vanita's ambition is to scale Maji into a massive 1,000 crore rupee venture by proving that the pay-per-hour model works. And by turning a 6,000 square foot bungalow into a multi-revenue community engine, she's created a blueprint that is incredibly scalable. The jump from 2 crore to 1,000 crore? Yeah, it's massive. But the mechanics of the engine she has built make it a genuinely tangible target.
It really makes you rethink what a hospitality business can be, doesn't it? When you remove the pressure of consumption and just provide the space and the time, you unlock an entirely new way for communities to gather. So I'll leave you with this to think about. As remote work and freelance culture continue to explode, is this third space model, where you pay for time, not for food, the true future of how we will all work, create, and socialize? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the traditional models around you.